and welcome to the first in our series of Water Chats, or should I say #Water Chats, a series of new online video interviews with key industry leaders from around the world. I'm Tom Freyberg from Penwell's WWI magazine. I'm pleased to be joined by José Diaz Caneja, who is from the Spanish company Acciona Agua. So, José, good to see you again, and thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Tom. Hi. Thank you very much.
So you're currently taking part in the interview from Spain, and it's a market I want to talk about with you first. You've had a lot of success recently internationally, but what about the domestic Spanish market? How are you seeing this from a kind of public-private partnership point of view and potential opportunity for the private sector to get involved?
Well, nowadays it's true that the domestic market, the Spanish market, it's a bit low. It's a bit low in both the design and build part of it related to any type of water infrastructures, and also in the utility sector, in supplying water to end customers in municipalities. And there are mainly two reasons for that. Well, we have already developed and constructed a lot of infrastructures, even if there is still need for some of them. But with the economical situation that we suffered for the last years, the rhythm of developing these infrastructures has definitely been stopped or reduced dramatically. And on the other side, the electoral year that we are having in 2015 is in some way affecting the new perspectives for the utility sector. So, we are in a moment in which things are a little bit frozen here in Spain. I'm sure they will improve. What I cannot guess or tell with some certainty is how long it will take for that.
Now, as we're seeing when we spoke with you in San Diego, California, the state there is facing ongoing drought, and drought has been a big challenge for the Spanish market as well. But in terms of the utilities and the setup of the market, it's often been called decentralized and slightly fragmented in Spain. So in terms of the private sector coming in and lending its expertise, what do you think is a solution here, or do you think the very arrangement of the Spanish market does not lend itself well to international participation?
Well, as I'm sure you know, Spain has been a very strong market for PPP schemes and models in other type of infrastructures, from transport to, let's say, social infrastructures, hospitals, education. I mean, probably whatever type. In the water sector, and due to exactly what you have mentioned, we haven't had that success, for developing infrastructure, and except for some nice and good examples, we have not been able to develop these PPP schemes, and that's mainly because, I'm sure it's mainly because of the different authorities and let's say administrative bodies involved. There has not been a real, let's say, MC that would drive the whole thing towards the final solution. That's happening for the infrastructure development, but on the other side, in the utility sector, I mean, again, supplying water to end customers in municipalities, we have quite a big privatized market in terms of the management, not in the ownership of the services. And the thing is that lately there has been some stoppage or reduction in the development of these activities, and I would say that is again based or due to the electoral year that we are in the middle of now, right now.
Okay, well, that's an interesting insight that really public-private participation has affected and benefited other types of infrastructure in the Spanish market, but perhaps not water. So fingers crossed, as things turn around with the economy, we could see a change there. But I want to talk about the Middle Eastern market, and specifically Qatar. You've got into a partnership with Mitsubishi for a project there. So before we start talking more about the Qatari market, tell me about the partnership and what you're going to be doing in Qatar.
Well, lately during this year, we have secured two very large scale RO desalination plants in which we are partnering with different companies. Mitsubishi Corporation is leading the development of both of them. We are extremely happy about that, and for us, a landmark having scored those projects because it's really the turning point from thermal desalination technologies to reverse osmosis in a country like Qatar. So yeah, I cannot say anything else than being extremely happy in that, and that's consolidate our strategy of becoming the leader RO desalination company in the Middle East. We already commissioned the Jubail RO4 for Marafiq in Jubail Industrial City, and these days we are also commissioning the Fujairah 1 extension for Agua, Ataka, and Sembcorp in the UAE. And finally operating the Sohar RO plant for Majis in Oman. Yeah, so definitely it's a booming market. We have been around for a long time now, and I think that we are now just seeing the success that we have from all the effort we have put on it.
Now, I've worked in the Middle East market for the last 6 years in from the UAE to Qatar and as well as Saudi Arabia. So I'm aware of the perhaps localized challenges of that specific market. So as a Spanish company, what was your business strategy to really not only enter the Middle Eastern market, but also Qatar?
Mm-hmm. Well, you say rightly, it took some time to also to understand the market, the environment, the client, the main players, the stakeholders, how to do things there. We studied in detail, and then once we saw that we have the knowledge for being able to be a player there, we go hardly on the tendering process that we were having at that point in time, that we are still having, and things that went well, and we are again very happy about that, and hopefully we can keep on doing that in the short, medium, and long term. We have a strong bet for the Middle East market. We think that the pipeline is huge, not only desalination, which of course is probably the main activity in which we are involved now, but also in wastewater, which there's many other opportunities that will arise in the next months and years.
It's you also mentioned, Jose, about the almost this project being a significant milestone in Qatar's desalination history, because as people tuning in will know, it's mainly been thermal desalination in Qatar that's provided over 95% of its water supply. There has been a small-scale project at Duqm I think it's provided about 750 cubic meters a day, but that's for industrial purposes. So why was the Razabu Fontas 3 project different in terms of really changing the mindset of Qataris to change from thermal to reverse osmosis desalination?
Well, under my view is because of the realizing about the difference that RO has versus or against thermal technologies, being MSF or MED. CapEx is lower, OPEX is lower, and definitely nowadays there is a sufficient proven track record in the Gulf area that could ensure the reliability of the plants itself. So this is under my opinion, the reason. Probably we need to ask the authorities about that. But definitely it's a turning point on the trend, no? As you said, Qatar up to now has relied completely on thermal processes for diesel, apart from some minor examples they are having around. And these two couple of plants will mark a change in the trend for that.
Fantastic. Well, hopefully it opens the door to not only more desalination projects, but more SWRO projects in that country. But I want to talk about the Atotonilco project, if that's how you pronounce it, in Mexico. It's going to be one of the world's largest, if not the world's largest, wastewater treatment projects, which we've spoken to you about before. But I just want to find out more about what sort of challenges from an engineering point of view come with taking on a project of this scale, and maybe you could talk about the kind of the progress of that project and when it will really come online.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, Totonilco is currently the largest wastewater treatment plant in the world being developed. It will treat water for more than 10 million people, almost half the size of Mexico DF. And our progress could be in the range of 98%. We are under the commissioning stage of the plant. We are just in the parallel way doing some improvements on the final tuning of the plant, and it will be operational by next year. So we are very close to that. Challenges are well, there are a lot of them. I mean, having a project of this size in which you have to manage not only the technical side of it, but also everything related to the stakeholders, and even more being a BOT, a privately financed project. You can imagine, no, a lot of things to put together. But I mean, the project will be a success, and it's an extremely nice reference for us.
And you mentioned there the BOT arrangement of the project, but what sort of benefit will the plant have to, I guess, not only the economy in Mexico, but also the local infrastructure?
Well, like all projects of this type, being a BOT, it will benefit from being privately financed. It wouldn't affect the public accounting, and definitely it also relies on the capability of Acciona and its partners in terms of how we put together again all the required steps forward in terms of financing and technical capabilities for EPC later on for the 20 years of operation and maintenance that we will be undertaking. I mean, I would say it's a very interesting tool. I always say that the BOTs or PPP schemes are not the, let's say, final and the end solution for all the problems that the authorities or any type of governmental bodies could have, but definitely is a very, very interesting tool and should be used and allocated in the same way as any other that we could have.
Excellent. Now, obviously, the project there in Mexico is enormous on the wastewater treatment side, and you've talked about the drinking water desalination side in Qatar. But as a business, where does Acciona really see the potential going forward, and which of those two areas has perhaps been more profitable for the group in the past?
Well, it depends a lot. I mean, on which period of time you look at it. Our company is, roughly speaking, I mean, very rough figures, half based on the design build capabilities, and on the other on the operation, maintenance, and utility market. So having this 50-50 approach, going to the design and build capabilities, it depends on the year, depends on the projects we are involved. But again, we can say that probably another half and half will be related to desalination and other type of water technologies, being drinking water or conventional drinking water or wastewater treatment sites.
And finally, I want to get your viewpoint on kind of the rise of the Spanish companies. We're hearing from yourselves, Acciona Agua, from Abengoa, and what they're doing in Saudi Arabia, to FCC's Arquelia. So, really, what can the Spanish water companies offer that perhaps others in the European market and the Asian market can't? And what sort of experience can you bring from the Spanish market to the rest of the world?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's true. There is a significant number of Spanish companies in the water industry. We have leveraged the needs of our country, mainly due to the scarcity we are suffering in some parts of it, and also with a long history we have involved the wastewater treatments and the utility sector, and that has helped us a lot in becoming international during the last 10 years. I think that the main upsides we have is adaptability and flexibility, joining them to the high level of technical knowledge that we can offer.
And I think, as we mentioned earlier, being placed in both the desal drinking water side and the wastewater engineering side, perhaps positions you well for future projects and future growth. If the desal market continues to be a little slower, then the wastewater side will obviously always be a requirement there.
Absolutely. I mean, we are, let's say, global player, and we need that in order to, let's say, balance and leverage the different activities and different uh, demands in well, while the market evolves. Yeah, and definitely that's an upside. Again, that's a thing that we have learned from our domestic market several years ago, and now we are capitalizing on that for offering it abroad. So yeah, that's a good upside or competitive advantage we are using. Of course, we like to put that in the market as much as possible.
Excellent. Well, Jose, I'd like to thank you for joining me and your time. I'm sure, as I said earlier, you're a very busy man. You're about to head to the airport to jump on a plane again. It's a busy time for Acciona next year. You're looking at bringing the Mexico project online, and obviously working more on those Qatari projects. So we wish you the best of luck with those. Thanks for joining me, and look forward to seeing you again very soon.
Thank you very much, Tom. Yeah, whenever you want, I will be more than happy to do so. Thank you very much.
Excellent, Jose. Thanks for your time. Cheers.
Bye. Bye. Cheers.